got a hitch out of Julian back down to the trail. I'm currently under a highway, this little underpass here, which is a regular stopping point for PCT hikers. Of course, not when the water is flowing, but it is a desert, so I don't think that happens very often. Behind me, down here, I don't know if you can see that, is a water cache that volunteers come fill those, keep those filled up for hikers that are coming through. There's a trash can and a recycle bin, a couple of chairs to sit in. So pretty nice community here in the local area, helps out the PCT hikers. Yeah, so day 6, I need to go about 15 miles to the next water source, which is another cache of water that volunteers put out. So about ready to get started. It's midday, about noon. But yeah, let's go do this, day 6. So one of the things that is associated, or I guess goes hand in hand with through hiking, are trail names, which are nicknames given to hikers, generally by other hikers, as just kind of comes to, I don't know, comes to exist as the trail occurs. Things happen. Example, just met a nice group of hikers that were camped, taking a break in the shade of a bush out here in the desert. And one guy is from Alaska, and the guy and the girl that was with him were saying that they gave him the trail name GM for glacier melt. Now, it's kind of the backstory on that is on Sunday when it was really hot here, he got a little bit of heat exhaustion and had to hit the SOS to come get picked up. He saw the symptoms, which is smart, but because of that, glacial melt seems to be what everyone wants to call him, GM. That's kind of how it goes. Again, there's no rules. Trail names can be offered by anyone. You can veto as many as you want. You don't have to take it. Like, if someone wants to call you dumbass, you don't have to use it as your trail name. But the idea is that something occurs on the trail and the other people get used to calling you that. I think that part of it is also when you're on the trail, you're kind of a different person, right? You can maybe be more yourself, more real than you can back in the culture, the society, wherever you're from. So this is kind of like a temporary persona. And I mean, is it escapism? Perhaps. I don't think escapism is necessarily a bad thing. You know, it's like you can just, life is short, right? You can be somebody else for a while if you want. Or maybe you can be the real you for a while if you want. Yeah, so trail names. I was given a trail name on the John Muir Trail by my daughter, my youngest daughter, and her husband, now husband, fiance at the time. And I'm kind of leaving it open to get a new trail name on this trail. That trail name was the Ramen Shaman. And, you know, it's got a nice ring to it. Sounds like maybe, you know, I'm really good at cooking ramen. When in reality, they both agree that after a week or 10 days of not showering, I tend to smell like beef ramen. You know, so there you go. It's kind of like, it sounds nice, but maybe there's a little bit of a dig to it. when you really get down to it. Certainly my older daughter wouldn't have done that. Oh wait, she might have come up with something worse. But anyway, we'll see. When I've mentioned that trail name in discussion with other people out here on the trail, they really like it. So I don't know. We'll see. Trail names. It's kind of a neat part of the trail. So far I've met Marmalade, Viking, One Love. Ooh, that's maybe a couple more I can't recall right off the bat, but yeah, there's always some kind of meaning behind it. And yeah, pretty neat. We'll see what happens. All right, peace out. This trail's been easy to follow for the most part. There's a, it's a single track, but pretty well worn. There are areas, and I know here in the desert particularly, where you get areas that's lots of sand and you kind of lose the track. But for the most part, pretty good. Plenty of signs, especially when you're near, a road or civilization. There's a lot of PCT signs, but I did take a bit of a wrong turn. I don't know, maybe 2 days ago. I had been, it was kind of late in the day, pretty hot, and I'd been kind of singing through 1980s television show theme songs in my head, and the trail came along to a dirt road, and it followed on the dirt road for a while. It was supposed to be, I don't know, a few tenths of a mile on the dirt road. And so I turned on the dirt road, continuing to go through the different theme songs, when I get to Gilligan's Island, and it made me pause and be like, did I miss getting off this road and getting back on the trail? So, did a little backtracking, a few tenths down a hill, and then back up a hill until I found it. But good old Gilligan's Island, that 3-hour tour. You never know when that stuff come in handy. If you know, you know. All right. Morning of day 7. It's a nice morning. I'm not exactly getting started super early today. Just kind of took it easy. Got a couple blisters trying to grow, some on each feet. I'm not particularly sold with these shoes, but we'll see. I put some moleskin kind of around my heels where the shoes are rubbing, and tried a few different tricks of tightening the shoes, loosening the shoes. I might end up putting a second pair of socks on. See what I can do to prevent these little things from growing into something debilitating. But yeah, beautiful morning. Not a lot of wind, which is it's kind of nice having a little break from the wind. The coffee was especially tasty this morning. I got a chance to talk some more through hikers. Met up again with Hunter and Gavin, a couple guys I saw maybe 3 days ago, and then just met Hirosha, a hiker from Japan. His trail name's Broadway. Didn't ask him how he got that, but I will. So getting going, kind of recap of yesterday. I was in Julian in the morning, finished my resupply, and then hitchhiked out to the trail. Got started about noon, and it was warm, but I got my, I don't know what it was, about 14 miles, I guess, in to a water cache which again, super nice. Volunteers put water out there. Was actually pallets of gallon jugs of water from, I don't know, I guess Costco. Yeah. So basically consumed a gallon of water between the 2 liters I have here, and then drank the rest down there. And yeah, now I've got about a 10-mile hike to the next stream to get some water, and then another 5 miles out of that will put me at Warner Springs, where there's a community center that they have kind of a resupply point for, we'll see, food, water. Maybe I'll get a few more supplies to make sure I keep these feet in good condition. And yeah, should be another great day of hiking. You know, I'm gonna say it. It's a great day to be alive. I don't know if you can see this, but on that hillside over there, there's all this orange patches. Not sure if it's flowers. I assume it is. I don't know. Very orange. Might be California dodder. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Very unhappy rattlesnake up in there. Yeah, I hear you, buddy. I ain't getting very close. Yeah, pretty good size. You do you. See you later. I'm getting closer to those orange mountains like I saw before. I don't know what that is. Gotta be flowers, right? Maybe we'll see later. Here's a rock formation out here in this meadow, aptly called Eagle Rock. I guess Native Americans found this as a very spiritual place, which makes sense. Super neat. So sometimes it's good to look back to where you've been to appreciate where you're going, but very neat. Follow that trail down all the way across, back up over that mountain over there. Yeah, but I guess like in life, you should only look back maybe 5% of the time? Otherwise, look forward where you're going. Yeah. I think this is what that hillside is covered with. It's making it orange. All right. Day 8. So, kind of recapping yesterday. Good day. Ended up getting in like 23 miles. Was able to stop at Warner Springs. It's a cute little unincorporated town, village. They have a community center there that volunteers run. They have it open for PCT hikers specifically during this part of the year, where there's water there, bathrooms, showers, and a bunch of resupply food. So that was good. And anyway, yeah. So yesterday, Also, I had a little encounter with a rattlesnake, but it all went well. Today, got 12 and a half miles for the first water stop, and then another 12 and a half miles after that for the second one. So 25 miles to do today. It's about 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, it's cool. It's probably, I don't know, about 60, 55, something like that right now. And I'm sure it'll warm up once I get up out of this canyon into the sun. So let's have another great day. Bye. So yesterday at that Warner Springs Community Center, I bought some food for my next jaunt, my next leg of this, and they had a box of free grapefruits, so I grabbed one. And right now I'm questioning that decision as I'm 3/4 way up this mountain and I got this dang grapefruit in the back of my pack. It's not gonna be long before I eat that thing. Too heavy, jeez. So I've had some blisters just starting. Not any big bulbous ones, but just, we can feel the soreness under the skin a little bit. A couple little bumps, and talking to a guy who's hiked the PCT before, Hunter, and he said blisters are just part of it, and then just gotta kind of manage them and hope them turn to calluses. I was like, okay. And what I've read before is to just cover a hot spot with Leuco tape as soon as it happens. But I don't know that was really helping all that much. They were still kind of hurting and getting hot, and I was concerned about them getting into big bulbous blisters. So I talked with another guy at Warner Springs yesterday, and he said that he talked to the outfitter back in Julian. It was like third way now, but anyway, he said to put like an anti-chafing cream on those spots so that skin just slides within your sock instead of gripping. So trying that today. I've took all the tape off, washed them good last night, and this morning I put Body Glide on it. Body Glide is looks kind of like a deodorant stick, used by runners, particularly long distance runners, to prevent chafing. So anywhere the skin kind of rubs together, use this Body Glide, and you don't get the chafe. So I had the Body Glide along, so I've been using that, and I've got Lena coming up behind me. Hey. So anyway, trying that today. We'll see if that prevents. It should make it a lot easier if I don't have the tape and do all that stuff, and I just use Body Glide. That's what I'm gonna do. Peace out. It's about 6:30 in the morning. Up in the clouds here a bit because the camp last night at a little higher elevation again. Pretty breezy, as I'm sure you can tell. Yesterday was a good day. Big day though. We got 25 miles in yesterday. A long way to go with lots of ups and downs. Pretty dang hot. I was coming into this Trail Angels place where we stayed last night, on fumes as far as water goes. Yeah, kind of pushed it. One of the guys wants to give me a trail name of Camel because I did those 25 miles on 2.5 liters of water, but I cameled up before we left, guzzled a liter, and yeah, I was ready for more water at the end, but it worked. Anyway, let's see. The place we stayed at, Diabente's. So, Trail Angels. They have a place that's out here in the middle of nowhere. Perfect spot for to get water, obviously. But they've got water. They provided a cold soda as soon as I got there. So I had a root beer. Very nice. And then I got there, I don't know, around 4. About 6, they started making hot dogs, provided free hot dogs, and then an ice cream bar afterwards. I mean, trail magic. Yeah, it was awesome. So I just tented there along with fellow hikers. I came in with a group of about 4 of us, and then ended up getting to be about 20 in total by the time the evening came. It got dark. So anyway, we'll just keep going down the road. Day 8. It's a great day to be alive. So I just wanted to pass along another little tidbit of information. You know, knowledge is power. So I did some field testing yesterday, where it started with my supper the night before. I had eaten some dehydrated refried beans, and I think the field testing was conclusive in that even reconstituted refried beans still make you very farty. I had gas all day long. So you know, kind of a public service announcement. There you go. I've always subscribed to the idea that one of the keys to a flourishing life is to try to learn something new every day. And you know, I think I've done a pretty good job with that. It's not nearly as hard as a person thinks. But yesterday, I learned a lot about the kind of that Swedish political system. Oh, there's a trip. Pack your bags. So I was hiking with Lena a bunch, and you know, it was a lot of fun. Just asking her a lot of questions about what their culture is like and whatnot. And interestingly, there's a lot of parallels from a political view or political standpoint to what's going on in America right now. So yeah, good stuff. I now know more about Sweden, and yeah, I think everybody should learn something new every day. There you go. There's your tip for the day. Have a good one. You know that saying about the best teacher in life is experience? Well, I know that things in the desert are pokey, sharp, and I've been, you know, doing my best to avoid the thorny bushes and cactus that are along the trail. Well, this morning when I was breaking down my tent, I bent down to take out a stake and put my ass right into a cactus, which of course made me clench and stand up real quick. And then I dropped trouser. Fortunately, I just touched it, just enough that it just stuck in my shorts. So I proceeded to go leave my tent up, go back into my tent, sit there and spend a half hour with a tweezers pulling cactus spines out of my shorts so I didn't have to feel them all day hiking. Yeah, it was a good life lesson right there. had an interesting conversation with Broadway yesterday evening. So Broadway's from Japan, and his English isn't really strong, but so he came down past where I was camping. We chatted for a little bit, and then he asked me, and he was struggling with the words, but the cow patties, because that particular area, you know, it's actually it is basically a cattle pasture, which not much grass, right? It's very much just trees and stuff, but like, so a lot of the PCT is actually on private land, which is kind of nice that they allow it. But anyway, long story short, the cow patties, he wasn't sure what made them. He thought that maybe they were from bear, and of course there was a lot of them, and they're on the trail and everything. And so where he's from in Japan, he's never been exposed to a cow patty. So it was a bit comical, as we have a language barrier, and I'm trying to explain that it's cattle, you know, like a cow. So I put on my horns and was mooing. I even give it a little to show that it was poop, and we made the connection. He understood. He just said he was really scared of his bears, and now that he knows it's not, we're all good. Kind of cool. Would have been a fun video though. All right, bye. Probably shouldn't be videoing this with like these fruit gummies in my mouth, but well, here we go. Just gonna say that I had a nice time hiking this morning with Broadway. He's a lot faster hiker than I am, but wanted to follow along so that he could work on his English, which is admirable, of course. So at one point we're hiking along and going up a steep section, and I consider myself in pretty good shape. We're working our way up this mountain, and my ears are popping every 5 to 10 minutes because of the altitude we're getting into. You know, the air's getting thin. At any rate, you know, I stopped to take a break, and he's right on my heels. And, you know, I'm huffing and puffing. He looks like, oh yes, very steep, very steep. We go a little ways further, and I take a break. I'm like, man, this is hard work. It's like, yes, very hard work. And then I start to realize, I think he's just kind of faking being tired. He really wasn't tired. So when I get my breath back, I ask him if he'd been training for the PCT. And he said, oh yeah, he'd been running, hiking, and then trail running.
And so I said, "Oh, how far do you typically trail run?" And in a very honest, humble way, he says, "Well, never more than 70 kilometers." And I'm like, "Oh, no wonder you can outpace me. Sheesh, he's a stud." Anyway, had a very good time hiking and talking with him today. I'm about 3 miles from my turnoff into Idlewild, and gonna spend the night there. So we'll see how that goes. Peace out.